for the main event for tonight. Time is 7 o'clock. It's time to call our meeting to order, and we'll get underway. We do need to establish a quorum. Madam Recorder, all members are present. We'll begin tonight with a prayer and a pledge. If you all please rise, we'll get the Vice Mayor to lead us in prayer.
Dear gracious Heavenly Father, we just thank you once again for this day you've given us. Just thank you for the many blessings you bestow upon us each day. We thank you for our town, for our employees. Lord, just watch over them and protect them and keep them safe. Thank you for this board. Father, just give us the wisdom and help us to be bold in our decisions. Just pray and ask these things in Christ's name. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, next on the agenda is approval of the agenda. I believe we have some changes that we need to make. I would like to, under the special item, Miss Jana Green is out of town. She cannot be here. Instead of removing that, I actually would like to change that to, I have an Industrial Development Board member to fill the vacant seat. If we could do that at that time. Mr. Ellis, you had a couple other things?
Yes, sir. I had two things, please. If we could, under section 13, new business ordinance first reading, I would ask that we add ordinance 2606. This is an ordinance that we talked about in the work session to reduce the water rates. Also, under section 15, I would request that we add resolution 2639. This is rescinding our current water leak policy. We need to discuss that and take some action on that. That's the only thing I have.
Okay. Nothing else? I'll take a motion when you're ready. I have a motion to accept the agenda with the changes from the Vice Mayor. Is there a second?
Second.
Got a second from Alderman Austin. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Okay. All right. Next on the list is the approval of minutes. I'm assuming everyone's had a chance to read these and go through. The first one is May 21st, special call meeting. I'll take a motion when you're ready.
Make a motion to approve.
Oh, I got a change on that one. Is that the regular meeting?
That is, no, that is the special call meeting. Okay. I've got a motion to approve from Alderman LaBuddy. Is there a second?
Second.
Second from Vice Mayor Cates. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. All right. Next is the regular meeting from May 21st.
Made a change on that. It said call to order Vice Mayor Case. You the one that did that, not me.
Where, okay. So change that to,
You William instead of Vice Mayor Case.
any other changes? I need a motion to approve as amended.
Make a motion to approve this.
Got a motion from Alderman LaBuddy. Is there a second?
Second.
Second from Alderman Austin. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. All right, next is the minutes from May's work session, May 28th. Take a motion whenever you're ready. Got a motion to approve from Alderman Bailey. Second?
Second.
Second from the Vice Mayor. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. All right. Next on the agenda is citizens' comments. This portion of the agenda is reserved for public comment from town of Oakland residents. I'm sorry. put a line through it and I skipped right over it. Next is a special item, excuse me, a special item. I've got something to read right quick. Ms. Green is out of town. She could not be here. She asked if she could be on the next month's agenda. I think we can make that happen. Okay. There is an opening on the Industrial Development Board. I don't think, I have a gentleman named Scott Crail. I don't believe he's here tonight. Scott has a 30-year history serving on various boards, including church, school, civic, youth sports, HOAs, and state associations. He's an Oakland resident. He's a self-employed general contractor and has been doing that since 2013. He was recommended by Chairman of the Board, Jana Green, and I nominate him for that seat. I will need a motion to accept the nomination and a second and a vote.
Did he know he was getting nominated?
I spoke to him over the weekend and I told him and I said, it's up to you whether you want to be president. It is not necessary. Would you like to speak to him?
Well, I know it just doesn't show much initiative.
Wow.
I mean, you know what I'm saying, how interested are you?
I understand.
I think he should have been here.
If anybody makes a motion, we'll do it. If you want him to come, we can do it next month.
Make a motion to move to next month, he'll be here.
Okay. Do I have a second?
I second.
All right. All in favor?
Uh,
All right. Motion passes. Now we're to the citizens' comments. This portion of the agenda is reserved for public comment from Town of Oakland residents who wish to comment on matters that are germane to the items on tonight's agenda. Speakers will limit their comments to 3 minutes unless additional time is allowed by the chair, and the total length of the public comment period shall not exceed 10 minutes. Is there anyone who wishes to speak tonight? Yes, ma'am. Please state your name and address for the record.
Hi, I'm Ramona Olson, 20 Burr Oak Drive. I'd like to make a statement regarding Resolution 2636 for the multifunctional copier device and service agreement. As I reviewed the proposal, I noticed that it appears a possible discrepancy in the quoted amounts, the cost. The proposal lists black and white copies at 0.0059 cents per sheet and color copies at 0.0038 cents per sheet. Typically, color copies are more expensive than black and white copies, making the figures appear to be inconsistent. Before the board takes action on this resolution, can you confirm that these rates were verified with the vendor and are accurately stated in the proposal? If there is a typographical or pricing error, it would be helpful for the board and the public to understand correct costs and any resulting impact on the total contract value. Given this agreement involves the expenditure of public funds, ensuring the accuracy of the quoted rates is important to transparency and informed decision-making. Thank you for listening, and I respectfully request clarification on whether the pricing has been reviewed and confirmed prior to approval of Resolution 2636. I'm sorry, 2636.
Yes. Thank you. Anyone else who wishes to speak? Mr. Sutton.
Ken Sutton, 85 Black Ankle Drive, Oakland, Tennessee. Several months ago, I approached your board from the stand about the agenda. The board is still doing the bare minimum on allowing citizens to speak at the meetings, and it has to be something that is on this agenda. Again, I know what state law says. It says the bare minimum. This board has the power to allow citizens, if they have a problem, to come up here and speak on any issue that they have in this town. I encourage y'all to please pass something on these citizen comments that allow the citizens to speak on non-agenda items. Thank you.
Anyone else who wishes to address the board? Okay, we're gonna move on. Oh, next is my comments from the mayor. Mr. Sutton, I will tell you that I did speak to the town attorney about this. I do know that the state law, I thought it had been changed. We were waiting on clarification from that. I agree with you. I think any resident or citizen of any municipality, body should be able to address their elected officials about any topic at any time. As soon as Mr. Minor tells us that we have
Well, you have
clarification
the
from
right
the
to do it. I mean, you just have to pass a policy to allow it.
You said that it was going through the state legislature and it was waiting on the governor's signature.
Okay, well, I don't,
Just check on that and we can change it by next month's meeting.
okay.
Okay. I did have a pretty good meeting this morning with some national leaders and state leaders from HUD. It's very good when these top level people actually come to your small rural county and your little municipality to see how things are going there. There was a couple other mayors there, other interested parties. They haven't forgotten about us, and it's just good to be recognized. Ms. Olson, we will take that, when we get to the resolution on that matter, we'll address that at that point. Okay. That's all the comments I have tonight. Comments from the Board of Aldermen, Mr. Campbell? Ms. Austin?
I just had one. I've been receiving numerous screenshots about some comments that are being made on other Oakland-related pages, and I have been taking it upon myself to addressing those screenshots with the screenshot on my personal page. And since I'm probably the only board member up here that has lived here nearly 40 years, I don't think it's appropriate for someone that does not live in Oakland to question how I got on this board. I don't think it's anyone's right to question me how I became an alderman, what my criteria is, or anything. I have put more blood, sweat, and tears into this county and into this city during my 40 years. And it's not appropriate to question me when I'm not the one that's in trouble. Now, if anyone wants to challenge me, there's a fire station right over there. My blood, sweat, and tears went into that station. I was here before there were 15 fire districts. I was here before we had a mayor. I was here when Oakland was 392 people. Oakland was a little bit more than 3 square miles. And that changed in 2020 when it went up to 10.4 miles. Y'all better realize, truth isn't always getting told where you think it is. I go back several generations in this family. I'm related to about a third of it. My friends consist of the late Lieutenant Governor, the Tomlins, the Crawfords, the Fowlers. I can go on. It's embarrassing to be called the laughing stock of the county and the state because of what's going on Facebook and next door. Every post relates to our finances. We have explained the finances every month. Every month. The finance director has explained them numerous times. But yet everything gets twisted around. In 1996, I ran for office the first time. That is the first year that outsiders from Oakland got elected to this board. That is when everything started to change in Oakland. It's time for people to get along, deal with what's going on, because I'm telling you, if the state gets its way, we're fixing to run into some real revenue issues. And if you think people up here are lying, you need to file a complaint with the state of Tennessee so they can come up here and investigate every single one of us. Because I'm tired of reading that TBI and FBI is fixing to investigate all of us, which that post is going to get forwarded to somebody that will investigate. We've tried to have meetings with a Better Oakland. We've tried to work with people. And I'm not sitting up here just saying stuff. If you want to work with this board, you need to work with us instead of against us and being on Facebook spreading propaganda. The page is run by Charles Timms down there in Moscow. He don't live here. We have people that don't live in Oakland. They don't live in District 9 or even live in Fayette County telling us what we can, cannot, should not do. And I'm fed
This is not time for,
Well, this isn't the time for her to lecture people.
I'm not lecturing people,
Well, you're
but
talking.
I'm getting lectured too.
You're
I'm
talking
getting
down to
lectured
us.
too.
this is not the place for a,
She's been out of order.
thank you.
It's out of order for every member of this board to be attacked. Excuse?
You're out of order.
You're the one doing a lot of the pushing
Okay.
of
No,
the.
you're doing a lot.
We're not gonna have, I'm not gonna have any comments from the audience. Hey, Chief Earl, can you please clear the hallway? Go ahead.
I'm finished. I'm sure everybody catches what's going on, but we have had aldermen called every day. We're dealing with posts on public net, on social media. We're not allowed to respond. We get blocked, we get muted, we get told we're lying. We have nowhere to say anything. Then when I put stuff on my page, I'm told I'm blocking people. My personal page. That's all I've got to say. If you want people up here to represent this town, we all got to work together, not divide.
Alderman LaBuddy.
First of all, I take offense to the outsider remark. Just because you've been here 40 years don't make you better than me. Second of all, unfortunately, there's a thing called the Constitution. And people have the right to say what they want, ask what they want. Doesn't mean you gotta answer them. That's up to you. But they have the right to ask. They have the right to make comments on it. And I'm just, as a person, telling you, if you wanna do the best thing, do what I do. Don't have social media. If you get on there and it hurts your feelings, don't have it. But people, everybody, whether they live in Oakland or not, or Fayette County, they still have the right to say what they want, and they still have the right to ask to a certain extent. And if we start stomping on constitutional rights, it's all, nothing's gonna
Let's
happen
stomp
anyway.
on constitutional rights.
But, I mean, while we're on asking questions,
Well, this is comments. Go ahead.
okay, well, okay, so when do you want me to ask questions?
You can say, who's the question to?
Alderman Austin right now.
You can speak about anything that you want.
Okay, so I've had several people, and I'm gonna ask you direct, because this is the way it was put, that when they were talking about the budget, that you had a conversation with somebody and said, we can save $3 million and disband the police and defund them and get the sheriff's department to do it. And if that's what you believe, that's fine, but if it's a rumor, I want to put it in its place right now.
That did not happen.
Okay, well, that's why I'm saying, I've had probably 10 people ask me about it. I said, I didn't say it, so I have to ask her.
And that's the problem.
But they have the right to ask, and I'm gonna ask you, because I don't, it's a question, I don't want rumors floating around, especially from aldermen if they're not true. And if it's not true, that's fine, if it is true and that's how you feel, that's your right.
That's exactly right.
But,
It wasn't, how an independent resident feels about the budget,
but you're an alderman, that's different.
I understand that. But when residents question anyone that makes a comment or a suggestion or a recommendation, that's all it is a comment, a question.
I understand that, but as an alderman,
if I
if
didn't
you
say-
said, yeah, we need to do that, then everybody's concerned in the city. People that want their own police department are concerned, because you're an alderman, you have a vote, you can put things, on agendas.
Oakland can afford to do anything, to disband anything.
Oh, absolutely, but that's why I was trying to get it out of the way. So, I know things aren't on the agenda, but I don't feel like we have answers, and thank you for answering that. We don't have answers to certain things. I don't feel like some of the progress, we're talking about money, we're talking about businesses. Every now and then, I hear, and Ed's here, so I know he can comment on it. Well, what's going on with, Margaritas, what's going on with Baby Jacks, what's going, so I don't know that Ed can comment on any of that, but I know I've had, again, 6 or 7 people ask me about Chick-fil-A. What's going on with Chick-fil-A? Are they all set? Are they coming? When are they coming? Is everything good to go? I don't know, but I know he's probably fill us in completely. And if you don't do that at another time, that's fine, I just wanted to put it out there.
Just so that Mike's been an alderman for how many months now? A handful. So, yeah, you can make a comment about anything that you want. The question you're asking for a department head, that's the next thing. on the
Okay,
agenda.
in their section, okay, my bad.
So get ready, Ed. Alderman Bailey.
I don't know.
You don't want to follow that?
It's like, no.
Vice Mayor?
I wouldn't touch that with a pole.
Okay. Okay, now we will get to consideration of department yes, Mr. Meyer.
I took advantage of AI. Effective May 26, the law did go into effect that it does allow the comments
On the agenda,
to be
anybody can
not
talk about
to
whatever
be.
they want.
Let me just I've had the text since March, but the text now reads, on any matter that is germane to the jurisdiction of the local governing body, regardless of whether such matter is an item on the agenda for the meeting.
Okay.
So that's the new law, and it did take effect May 26th.
Okay. I don't think that's anything we have to vote on. You
No.
can just send that language to the town manager, the town recorder, whoever makes the agenda, and we can have that for next month.
Yeah, but I know
Okay.
Mr. Sutton's brought it up a couple times, and so that's, yeah.
Okay. Now we'll do the consideration of department director reports. Is there any department director that wishes to address the board that's not Ed? Blake?
A lot shorter than this.
Mr. Coker, our wastewater director.
Let's give you all a quick update on the status of the plant expansion. We're finally nearing the completion of the project. Over the next 2 weeks, they will finish grading. A lot of the grading has been completed this week. They've been putting grass seed and straw down. Also, over the next 2 weeks, curbs will go in and asphalt, so it'll start looking like a real finished site. They've also been painting this week, so it's really coming together. They've got light poles up, all the railings. It really looks like the finished thing coming along. June 24th, we will have a site inspection by the state to satisfy the requirements for the ARPA money, grant money, part of it that we utilize to pay for the plant expansion. After that, the week of July 6th is a tentative final walkthrough where we'll do another punch list. Previously, they were not far enough along to really do a final punch list, so after the 4th of July, we should be in the final weeks of the project. Even though the project will likely be finished by mid-July to late July, they'll have to come back in August to install a couple of gears for our decanters. They just did not arrive in time with the current supply chain. Lots of specialty parts in the plant like that. So once they get those installed, we will be finished with the project. So we're looking forward to having them out of our hair and getting back on track.
Excellent. Any questions for Mr. Coker?
Is this including the old part too? It'll all be complete or just a new part?
Yes, sir. So the 2 new basins, they completed those last September. The work they've been doing since September has been to renovate the old basins. We've been in the old basin for about a month, a little more now. So they've just been finishing up the site work and getting everything completed.
So then we'll be full capacity.
We have been at full capacity for a little while now, yes, sir. 3 million gallons.
Thank you.
Ms. Austin?
I was just gonna ask, is there a way we can schedule for the board?
Absolutely.
Is it?
I would say probably sometime in mid to late July would be best, once we get everything graded out, good walkways, good asphalt. It's still a little helter-skelter now, not easy to get around in some places, but absolutely. I would imagine by next board meeting, y'all would be able to come out there and get around pretty easy.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Ellis?
Just want to take a moment to acknowledge Mr. Coker and his staff. If you haven't been to a project of this magnitude, while you're given a task to keep it running and keep it in compliance while everything's turned upside down, it has been a tremendously stressful 2 years for him and his staff, and I want to publicly acknowledge them and thank them for the sacrifices.
Thank y'all.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Any other department head? Are you coming to address, or are you just anticipating?
I'm just here to say howdy. Have any questions? Go ahead, Mike.
We talked
Go ahead.
about all this on the planning commission, but,
Yes,
you
yes.
know, now, give me the short version, please.
Well, I could just tell you, Mike, and you and I have had conversations. You have the projects that you immediately see. You know, those take 2 to 3 years. I mean, the projects that you're seeing from Chickasaw Ridge to 194, you know, the Paris to Take 5, the Walmart, those things take 2 to 3 years to go through that process. I'm already working on projects that'll probably be 6 months to a year away, easy. To answer your question on Chick-fil-A, they have submitted plans. I've talked to, I don't know, probably at least 20 different people on that project. You're talking about a major corporation that builds maybe 20, 50 stores a year.
Sure.
That project I've worked on for 3 years. And yes, they are moving forward with it. The stoplight at Clay is moving forward. The developer's paying for that one. I anticipate, they've already submitted, and I said, just go ahead and get plans to us. I want to look at them early so we could revise. We could look at queuing, we could look at circulation. We want to make sure all that's done. They've already submitted those plans to us. I've already had our engineers look at them. They're tentatively scheduled to go for the Planning Commission in August. I anticipate that they'll meet that deadline. They're looking at trying to start construction in the fall with the opening the first quarter of 2027. So you have that one. Margaritas has probably been going on for 4 years. That one there, the good thing is the building itself is good. They're working on the exterior, you know, working on the hardscape, putting together the parking lot, the landscaping, the detention pond, and then they can get their final CO. With them, that could be anywhere between 1 month and 6 months to maybe another year. I mean, that's up to the developer on that one. They meet their, as long as they're moving forward, they could continue to move forward. And at this point, we don't want to yank the carpet out. We want that project finished.
Sure.
I mean, it'd be nice for that. I've had tenants that are talking about going into where they're at now. So, you know, we have a lot going on. Right here, I'll just talk about it. We have Clay Street. That's on your budget and the rest. I would ask for you seriously to consider, I know the money's tight this year. You're gonna have a stoplight. You're gonna have 7 Brew on the southwest corner. Northeast corner, you're gonna have Valvoline. Already got a permit through, start construction. We're gonna have Chick-fil-A. You're gonna have a 60,000 square foot mini storage, all within eye distance.
Yeah.
It would make sense to get the road from Dawes to the stoplight finished all at one time. That's our emergency route. If we do it in 2 phases, there is gonna be a delay no matter how much we try to make sure. When you start doing asphalt, you start doing asphalt. I mean, we're gonna do our best, but I would ask for your consideration on it. If you have to pull from reserve funds, it makes sense. That's a life safety issue. That would be my pitch. And if you don't, and if you want additional collaboration, ask the police chief and fire chief. They'll tell you the exact same thing.
And the reason I ask, I'll tell you is.
Yeah.
Chick-fil-A brings a lot of business, not just people going to Chick-fil-A. And I've had some chance meetings with a franchise owner.
Yeah.
And with some businesses around a couple of Chick-fil-A's, and they came because Chick-fil-A came.
Yes.
And I did have, and this guy told me this, and that's why I'm gonna ask you. So just like parents or whoever, Chick-fil-A builds this building, this is how they build it, period. And I know we had an issue at Kroger. So is anything they want, I know that everything's gotta be brick.
Yes.
Is that gonna be an issue? I mean, you have the plans, you've talked to them.
Well, for 3 years, I've told them it needs to be brick. For 3 years, I've got that. Their latest submittal is not brick. So I will be having a discussion with their new regional manager who, for whatever reason, has decided not to do that. I've looked at 11 stores in Memphis. Every single one of them has brick. So I'm not sure. I'll see what happens. I'll look at our DRC guidelines. It is brick. I've told Take 5. I've told Paris. I've told Walmart. And are we going to give them a break? So the question arises, I'm hoping that we'll come to a conclusion. We'll find out in August.
And obviously, you didn't tell me, so.
Yes.
It's gotten past here for somebody to tell me, you know.
And I'm just wondering why. I'm just wondering why, out of all the areas, all through Memphis, everybody does brick, and then all of a sudden you wanna come to Oakland and not do it.
And I don't know what they're gonna do.
And I'm like, yeah.
And I don't know, I just know along with that they do bring a lot of other revenue.
Oh, very much so.
You know what I mean? Other businesses wanna follow that.
Yeah,
So that's why
Yeah.
I was just getting more of an update, so people ask me, now they know.
Sure. I'll be transparent about anything that I have.
Oh, yeah, I know that.
I'm just kind of surprised at the 11th hour, they all of a sudden had a major change. There's not a significant difference of what they're talking about, so I'm not sure. I'm hoping it's a miscommunication because, like I said, I dealt with 20 different professionals. They've had 3 or 4 architects, 4 or 5 civils. They've had their due diligent people. They've had corporate. They've had their regional managers. All of a sudden, 11th hour, we got that.
Right.
Well, we'll discuss that matter when it comes in August.
And just so everybody knows, you can find out all this information in the planning commission meetings. They're open to the public. When do we meet? First Tuesday of the month?
First Tuesday.
Okay, first Tuesday of the
Yes.
month, right here in this room.
And while I've got the opportunity here, you always look at for work sessions. Harvey and I have been approached by a major developer. I'm not gonna discuss the particular property yet, but I'd like to have a work session, hopefully the 9th, if at all possible for you. They wanna come in, they wanna have a major development. They also wanna put in another stoplight. They'll pay for it all fully themselves. So there's 2 issues that you need to consider. One would be, okay, that's great, you're gonna have a new developer, they'll pay for a stoplight. But do you want another stoplight? You're gonna have to make that decision. I mean, there's the life safety issue. We're a very linear city. Go look at our map.
Yeah.
Compare it to any other one in Tennessee, we're probably the most linear one that we have.
Yeah.
The worst design that you could ever create.
I got a
That-
question for you on that light.
Yes,
I was under the impression it also would help the fire and police to be able to control that light to get in and out. Is that true?
that is true, yes, yeah.
So it could save them a matter of seconds. It could be somebody's life or a house.
Yes, yes. Now, the only question that you have is sometimes you have a light that's all backed up and trying to get around it. I mean, you can convert it, you could have that light go from a red to a green, but you still gotta get through that intersection. And that's why it's imperative that we seriously consider getting the road widening.
Is there a plan for, like at the state level for relief of 64 for roads going anywhere?
Not on that one, the problem you run into is that,
I mean, just in general.
yeah. In general, other places where I've been, you would have a state one, and they probably don't have this section where you would have what they would call an access control management plan. And they would be looking at stoplights, they would be looking at, okay, you have a business come in. We're not gonna let you have 2 access points, only one, because you want free flow. You know, that makes sense. You're a state highway. They're more concerned with getting from point A to point B rather than you and I are looking at access of driveways. They want to be able to go fast rather than stopping all the time. So you have that kind of a plan. I've not seen that for this particular stretch of that. I don't think they particularly do. What you do for stoplights, those are addressed on a individual basis. It's through the state. You have to do a traffic study. You have to have the warrants. Does it warrant it? If it does, then you have consideration. The state will approve it. Then will the jurisdiction approve that as well as part of their development approval? But that would be part of that discussion, and that will be towards the end of the meeting. They've asked, they've got their plans, and it's an issue, it's a policy issue. I'll give you my opinion, but what do you want to do? So that would be one thing for you to consider. A little more than what I wanted to talk about tonight, but hey, I'm transparent.
Alderman Campbell?
And, is there any consideration of calibrating all these lights?
Mhm.
I mean,
Yeah, each time that you put them in, you want to synchronize them.
yeah.
Yeah. Now, that's not a perfect, that's a difficult one, depending on your timing that you have. And then you have free flowing to certain times. That's a whole methodology in itself. But yes, when you put one in, you definitely want to have that synchronization. But synchronization is not one
that's a perfect science, nor is it gonna be probably one that may benefit you on the side street compared to being on a major road.
Yeah, I know, the city of Marvin did that, going down 64,
Mhm.
and it's helped quite a bit. If you
Yes.
maintain a certain speed, you can just about go forever.
Yes. If you're the first or second one and you get that timed right, you're good. You're the fourth or fifth, you're gonna hit every light. It's just kind of the way it is.
Any other questions for Mr. Cortone?
I have a question,
Of
and
course.
it's really not planning, but I have been asked over and over and over, have they pulled any permits to repair JR?
JR, I can't answer that one directly. My understanding is gonna be a demolition for it, but
That's what
I'm just speaking anecdotally.
I spoke with the owner probably a month ago, and he's gonna demolish it.
That's what
Made very clear to him, he had to get a permit, we had to be involved, but I haven't spoken to him since. It was a total loss. For the ones that don't know, the roof fell in during the winter, and it's a total loss to that business.
Anything else?
Huh?
Thank you.
Thank you, Jim.
Is there any other department head that you guys want to, Dennis,
I
go
just
ahead.
let the board know that the paving, spring paving is over. It turned out good.
Okay,
We get the budget passed in time, we plan on doing another one for this fall.
gotcha. Thank you.
Dennis, I got a question.
Yes,
Did they ever decide to put a spray on that asphalt to make it last longer?
Harvey and I have looked into that. We're thinking about spending some of our paving budget this year doing some side streets on the one. You can't put it on a brand new street, you have to put it on one that's several years old.
Oh, okay.
So what we had discussed is taking maybe 10% or 20% of our paving budget and seal existing streets to extend their life. So we plan on doing it, as Mr. Mullen said, in the next coming project. There's several different methods that neighboring cities have used. We've done some research, we have to do a little more. They're a little different products, so
Is it
depends on.
seal coat?
It's similar to a seal coat.
Yeah, we had a company come out here and we went around to several streets and he's saying it's not a good idea to put it on a street that's a year to a couple of years old. He wants to put them on like 4 to 5 year old streets. And it makes it last several more years as far as the cracking and everything goes.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank
Mr.
you.
Mullins? Okay, is there any other department head that wishes to speak, or is there an alderman who needs to talk to a department head? Going once? Okay. Then we'll move on to the town manager's report.
I'll be brief, but first I want to remind everyone about the upcoming fireworks show on Saturday, June 27th from 4 to 9. It will be at the new park on Beaver Farm Road. I want to go ahead and address something. I've gotten a little pushback. People are concerned about the grass and damage could be done on the park. It was a decision I had to make, and that's the one I made, and I'll deal with the consequences. If there's damage, there's damage. So we are pretty deep into this project. It was actually scheduled to be complete a month ago. They are running behind, but it's too late to change the venue. So we are going forward, and what comes out of it, and I'll own that because it was my decision. Secondly, again, I'd like to acknowledge Mr. Randall Andrews. I don't think Randall's here. The wastewater department, I mentioned it in the previous work session, that he was successful in getting his grade 3 wastewater treatment plant certification. That is a very difficult task, especially on a young man new to the job. He hadn't been here that long. We haven't had an employee get that certification in quite a while. So kudos to him and Mr. Coker's guidance and mentorship as well. So I want to acknowledge him.
Is he here tonight?
No, sir, I don't think Mr. Randall's here, is he?
I told him to come next month. I was
Oh,
gonna
man.
bring him up here, but we'll do it next month.
Okay. Lastly, you'll notice a change to the room. I'm not gonna stay on that very long. Staff's making an effort to get this building in compliance with safety. We have some life safety issues and some egress issues, so the tape is just kind of a visual. Probably won't stay there forever, but we have to keep that much distance between doors. We have panic hardware to get out. We're just gonna do what we have to do to make this building as safe and compliant as we can, unless a miracle happens and we can come up with a way to fund a new building. So until then, you're gonna see changes. Some you may not see, but we're gonna work actively on that throughout all the town buildings. Lastly, I hate to even say this, but I don't wanna brag on myself, but I did obtain recently my municipal clerk and recorder certification, so, I was able to do that, so, just want to make the board aware of that.
There you go.
That's all I have.
Congratulations. I
That's
just
all
want
I have. If you have any questions.
I just want to say, I hope that that is temporary, because it doesn't, it looks like a crime scene almost.
That was the point. I wanted to make
So
it.
buildings are
Get ready.
That was the point. I wanted a
No.
visual.
I understand. I do disagree. I think that we're rushing to the new park a little too fast.
Mhm.
We spent millions of dollars on it, and it only needs a couple more months to be presentable. I just want to be on the record. I think we should have waited, so.
And again, I'm on the record. It was my decision,
I
and I'll
know.
be held accountable for whatever
I
happens.
know, but if there's damage, it's town money,
Yes,
so.
sir.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Ellis.
You're welcome.
We have no ordinances under old business. Under new business, we have ordinance 2606. This is the water rate decrease and reduction in usage per gallons. I will need a motion to hear ordinance 2606.
Motion to hear.
Got a motion from the vice mayor. Is there a second?
Second.
Got a second from Alderman LaBuddy. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion passes. Okay, Mr. Ellis?
I'll start. If Ms. Lori needs to help, I'm sure she would be kind enough to jump in. This ordinance is reducing the water rates. If you remember when we did the last rate, increase, one was the base fee was 1,000 gallons, the wastewater and water was 2,500 gallons. So we're adjusting that, we're proposing that we adjust the water rates. This is in an effort, it's mainly gonna help the residents that use 2,500 or less. So we're gonna lower the rate, the base rate, to 1,000 gallons. And that first 1,000 gallons, will go from 15.47 is what it is for the 2,500 gallons now. For the minimum, it would go down to $7.98 for the first 1,000. And then $4.99 for each 1,000 after that. We didn't change that, that's the existing fee. So what we're doing is trying to give the residents a little help that use 2,500 and less. So some people use 1,000, there are quite a few that use under the minimum. So this will help them, that's what this is all about. Yes, it will reduce some revenue in the water fund. We've looked at the numbers, it should be a minimal impact, but I think the value of helping citizens is more important than that little loss.
I've got 4 people in my house, and I was shocked to hear how many people actually use less than 2,500 gallons of water, because we exceed that every month. So if you use 2,500 gallons or more, no change to your bill. If you use less than 2,500 gallons, you will see a small savings.
Correct. There's a sheet in your packet that explains it. If you need more information, Ms. Lori, I'm sure would be glad to help.
Any questions? Did you have something, Mr. Case? Any questions, any comments? Okay, I'll take a motion when you're ready.
Make a motion to pass.
I have a motion to approve ordinance 2606 from Vice Mayor Cates. Is there a second?
Second.
Got a second from Alderman LaBuddy. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion passes. Mr. Minor, do we need to set a public hearing for this at this moment?
No, as long as you meet your notice requirements.
Okay. I'm assuming this will be on July's agenda?
Correct.
Okay, very well. Then we'll move on. No old business for resolutions. New business under consideration of resolutions is Resolution 2634, official naming of Oakland's new, it says sports park. Could we just say park? The sports complex is part of the park? It doesn't matter.
No, it doesn't.
Can I get a motion to hear Resolution 2634?
Make a motion to hear.
I've got a motion from Vice Mayor Cates. Mr. Ellis.
For informational purposes, 2019, Resolution 1961 it gave the naming rights to the park to the family that sold the land to the town. So in respect and to commit to do what we obligated to do, finally it's to the point that we've contacted the family. They've suggested a name, and I would like for the board to consider passing this resolution, naming this Mewburn Legacy Park.
I spoke to Ms. Crawford today. She likes the name. She's good with it. Any questions or discussion? Take a motion when you're ready.
Make a motion.
Motion approved 2630.
Got a motion to approve from Alderman Campbell. Is there a second?
Second.
Second from the Vice Mayor. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion passes.
Thank
Okay,
you.
next is resolution 2635, A2H On-Call Engineering and Consulting Services. This is authorizing an agreement. Can I get a motion to hear?
Motion to hear 2635.
Got a motion from Alderman Austin. Mr. Ellis.
Yes, this is formality. A2H Engineering Architect and Planners have been the town's on-call engineer for a few years, and staff recommends we renew that agreement for a 36-month period. And this is an official document that allowing the mayor to enter into that agreement.
I will say, Mr. Smith is here tonight.
Correct?
This is a standard.
Yes.
Any questions or comments? Take a motion. Go
Mr.
ahead.
Ellis, does this resolve any questions that Mr. Olson brought up at the last meeting about this?
You'll have to refresh me on his
He
specific
was
question.
questioning the lot fees and
This wouldn't have anything to
No,
do
this
with.
is actually engineering fees, so
Okay.
where when a department head or myself needs some engineering, we call A2H and they schedule someone to come out and help us with varying issues.
Yes.
They'd be our on-call engineering firm for the
Okay.
town.
I just
Now, we
wanted-
use others in different situations, but they're the main one we go to.
Okay, just wanted to
The
clarify.
price stay
there's a
about the
difference.
same.
Yes.
Make a motion to pass 3635.
I've got a motion to pass resolution 2635 from Vice Mayor Cates. Is there a second?
Second.
Got a second from Alderman Labuddy. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion passes. Okay. Next is resolution 2636, multifunction copier device and services contract award. Can I get a motion to hear resolution 2636?
Motion to hear resolution 2636.
Motion to hear from Alderman Austin. Mr. Ellis.
First, Mrs. Olson, I believe Mrs. Fuller can confirm those prices have been verified and confirmed with the company.
I did notice that those prices were what I thought were backwards also, but if you notice that in both of the quotes, the prices for the black and white or for the color was cheaper. And so I contacted them to make sure that they weren't typos, and they said no, both companies.
So if we want to save some money, we can just print everything in color.
Yeah,
Do we need to vote on which color?
we could make that call. Requests for proposals were sent out and through May, and they were reviewed by staff, and this is a company recommended. This is a 36-month agreement. This company is located in Memphis,
Okay.
and our current contract has expired.
It's about the same price we were getting before,
No, this is actually a better price,
is it?
yes, than what we had before.
Excellent. Any other questions or comments? I'll take a motion.
Make a motion to pass.
Got a motion to pass by the Vice Mayor Cates. Is there a second? Second from Alderman Labuddy. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion passes. Next is resolution 2637, Pitney Bowes Mailing Solutions, another contract award. Can I get a motion to hear?
Motion here, 2637.
Okay. Mr. Ellis.
This is also a government contract with Pitney Bowes. Staff has requested a postage meter. I know it's 2026, hard to believe. We're still going to the post office buying stamps, paying for certified mail. It's just way past time to do this, guys. It's a no-brainer. Of course, it's going to help us be more efficient and reduce costs in our daily operation.
I worked at
What's took this long?
I worked at a firm 30 years ago and they had it, so.
I know, guys.
I hope you have a place to put
Well,
tabletop model.
we could squeeze it in.
Yeah. Okay. Any questions? I'll take a motion.
Motion passed 2637.
Got a motion to pass resolution 2637 from Alderman Labuddy. Is there a second?
Second.
Second from Alderman Campbell. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion passes. Sometimes I feel like a broken record. Resolution 2638, this is designating the town recorder to serve as the acting town manager during any temporary absence or disability of the manager. You're not planning on being disabled or anything, right? I got a motion to hear Resolution 2638 from Alderman LaBuddy. Mr. Ellis?
I'll explain. Through the process of a charter change, of course, it's sent to Nashville to go before the legislature. There's a committee that reviews those changes. When they sent the draft back, they recommended that this language would be in there. I'm gonna quote from paragraph 2 in the new charter. It says, the Board of Mayor and Aldermen shall designate an administrative officer to the town as acting town manager to serve during any temporary absences or disabilities of the manager. So the state added that language in. I made you guys aware of it when you voted on it. Now we're just following through with what we're supposed to do. I recommend that town recorder be that designated as that person.
Yes.
You better think about this.
Just so the public knows, the town recorder is an official position with the town. It's her job to well, she has a lot of jobs, but she keeps up with records, all the minutes that we pass, everything that 100 years from now, when we're all dead and gone, somebody wants to come read. It's her job to make sure all these are preserved properly and kept up with.
And for information, there are 4 positions for the public that are appointed by the board. Town attorney, the judge, town manager, and town recorder.
Okay, so, any questions, any comments? I'll take a motion when you're ready.
Motion to pass 2638.
Got a motion from Alderman LaBuddy, second from Alderman Campbell. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion passes. Resolution 2639, rescinding the town's water leak policy. Can I get a motion to hear?
Motion to hear resolution 2639.
Motion to hear from Alderman Austin. Mr. Ellis.
The resolution before you will rescind the current water leak policy that was created by resolution 1924, so it's in 2019. The recently passed water leak insurance resolution that you passed a month or so ago, 2619, in that resolution it states that no other leak policy will be allowed. So we're just cleaning up what we've already passed. So because of that previous passing of that resolution, it requires us to do away with this one.
Getting away with this one, we have the new one.
We have a new one. Yes.
Any discussion? Ready for a motion?
Motion to pass 2638.
Got a motion to pass resolution 2639 from Alderman LaBuddy. Is there a second?
Second.
Second from Alderman Austin. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion passes. Other items of business. Mr. Ellis, we have Fayette County School Agreement expiring June 30th, 2026.
I wanted to have a discussion on that. Of course, I'll defer to Attorney Minor and the board, but staff is recommending with the opening of the new complex that we will no longer need to use Fayette County's facilities. I don't know, Mr. Chase had something to do tonight. He's not here. If you want to discuss it, I'm just going on his recommendation that we not renew that agreement.
I think we should keep the agreement. I need to ask the board's permit. I need to ask. Mr. Gary Schmidt would like to comment on this. Would it be appropriate for me to call on him? I'm sorry? Does the board have an objection if Mr. Schmidt, is that okay with you?
I'm okay with it, yeah.
Yes, Gary. I only think we should keep it because right now they have baseball, they have field space that we may or may not need. I don't know.
So the 2 programs that we use right now are West Middle School soccer field.
Yes.
We no longer would need that with the opening of our new park. However, we haven't had baseball here for 2 years, and my plan is to bring that back. And we need Oakland Elementary. So if we lose that, we have no baseball facility to bring it back unless we rebuild Cypress Creek, which we can do. But that's going to take a few months to get that done, if that ends up in our plan. But we need a baseball facility. We have lights down there, but we have no infield. We'd have to rebuild that. Now, I know I can do that, if we have the equipment and we buy the clay and stuff like that, we go down there, mark it up, and then actually work and rebuild that. But that would be the only way we eliminate that agreement completely. We don't need the soccer, but we need the baseball.
We own that over there, no?
Say it again?
School don't own that.
No, that's our part.
That's our park. If we have to go and rebuild that infield down there. We have the fence, we have the lights, but there's no infield.
Where does the school own when it was used? Up here, just elementary?
Elementary school.
The elementary school field, and they also own the soccer field next to West.
We don't need
It's
that
whatever the
soccer
wishes of the board is. I think that with the park being new, it doesn't cost us any money. It's just, we maintain those two fields. The school gets to use them when they want. Other than that, we have exclusive rights to use those fields. I don't think it's a bad thing to keep it for another year, just in case.
Well, I think, can it be renegotiated that we drop the soccer, keep the baseball? So we just maintain Oakland Elementary and not West Middle School.
That's what I'm thinking too.
Well, or we could, it's up to you guys. This is something that we do have another meeting on June the 29th. This is something that we can add to that agenda.
That's probably a good idea.
Okay.
I don't see a downside, cause we're just opening.
That's right.
We don't wanna cut off our nose to spite our face.
I think it costs us $0.
It's a minimal cost,
That's right.
really, for the upkeep.
That's right.
I'm assuming.
I think it would be prudent to keep the contract for one more year. And plus, it would also give us time to
I think
let
we should
Fayette
probably-
County know that this is our last year that we're doing this
Can we
contract.
do it on a year instead of 2 years?
Yes,
Yes.
yes,
Maybe we'll
Okay,
do it
we
just
can do
for a
that.
year.
okay. We good? All right, next thing is establish a date and time for a work session. I know Ed mentioned July the 9th. I may have a conflict with July the 9th, and I hate to do, can we do July the 8th? It's a Wednesday, we could do it at 6.
It's gotta be 6:30.
I could do it 6:30. Is that a problem for anybody? July the 8th at 6:30. Do we need a motion, or can we just?
Need some guidance. Is there anything else you want to be on there besides what Mr. Ed mentioned earlier? Is there anything the board want to discuss?
Can we talk about the possibility of the next phase of the park? Can we start some discussion on that?
Of course.
Possibly some discussion about a town hall. Just kind of get some blind ideas and see what we need.
Oh, this one's fine. I
Of
feel
course.
safe.
Yeah.
And let me remind, this is just a work session. You have 2 or 3 weeks to get in touch with the town manager if you have anything that comes up that you don't think of tonight, and he can add it to the agenda.
Correct.
Anything else?
Yeah, one more thing that Gary just mentioned about, doing the park down here at Cypress, getting it ready. Can we, look at that a little further as far as expenditure and that?
Say that again?
Expenditure to get Cypress Creek Park set for
Oh, yeah, sure,
Coach,
Sure.
Coach Pitch, Steve Ball, whatever.
sure.
We can do that.
Okay. Is there any other item of business we need to discuss? Then I'll take my favorite motion of all.
Motion adjourned.
We are adjourned.